What's up, Trident viewers? Today we got Joshua.Killian.
What's going on?
And Gunnar.davis as myself. You like that? You like that?
I did. That was good. This is very important, especially within our county, and it's just remarkable to see some of the percentages that we're going to go over today as far as the home buying process goes. Because one thing that we were kind of talking about, like we're always like, oh, you should buy now, you should buy now. And then we did the whole millennial episode. If you haven't seen that, link's going to be above here. And why do we push that you should buy so much or buy frequently when you can? That's what we're going to be tackling today. Why it's important and why waiting to buy could ultimately cost you a lot more money if you don't start earlier.
And it is important to kind of go back and watch our other videos because they all kind of connect, like how you're talking about why millennials are waiting. So it's all going to be coming down to now, what is it going to cost you? What's going to happen if you do end up pushing it back?
Exactly. So we went over, why millennials are waiting. Well, what happens if you actually wait? So what happens if, all of these things that we had discussed in some of the previous videos occur, you're not able to buy a home, what happens during that time that you're not able to do so?
And we're really going to see this, what seem to be small percents turn into big numbers.
They're pretty ridiculous numbers that could, it could work in your favor if you buy today, because I didn't even think about this until just now, but a lot of these, if you buy today, these numbers will work in your favor, let's say, if you'd like to sell. But would you like to take us away maybe, or would you like me to go ahead and give us a go?
I can kind of get us started.
Perfect.
So as we're starting, for reference, we're doing, all these numbers are based off our medium sale price here in St. Charles County, Missouri, which is $332,663.
So roughly $330 is what we're going to kind of base it on.
So if you want to round, we can go there. But, so as I was saying, these small percents turn into big numbers. So in your first, let's say if you bought today at the $330,000, in just 6 months, you would actually be paying $342,000, which that's a big chunk of change. That's $10,000.
I was going to say, it's almost $10,000 within your first half year of owning a property. So if you were to own that property, literally within 6 months, you'd have another $10,000 that it could be technically assessed in value on. So
it just keeps growing from there. So that 2.81% seems small, but $10,000 I think would be a big deal. But if let's wait a year, we jump up to 7.27%, which is up to $356,000. That what could have been worth $332,000 to you today now costs you more than $20,000, and just because you decided to wait. That's all. That just blows my mind.
So a perspective from this would be, okay, you're in school, or you go, I want to buy a car first, and then the following year, I'm going to go ahead and I want to look into buying a home. Well, now not only have you bought a car, so theoretically your funds are going to be lower,
right.
But during that time, unlike a lot of things that we talked about, specifically cars as an example, depreciate in value.
Yeah, your car ain't going to be appreciating $10,000-$20,000.
Your car is definitely not going to be appreciating 7.27% in the year. You know what will, though? The house that you'd like to purchase. So now not only are you have bought this car that is depreciating in value and you have less funds, but the same house that you'd like to buy 1 year later is now going for $30,000 to $40,000 more than what it was. So you just bought that car for $20,000-$30,000. Well, you're going to need that much more to get into the same exact property that you would have liked 1 year ago.
And it doesn't even
stop there. Exactly. That's just 1 year. These are based upon all of the projections within the past year of how the market's been. So, of course, if you're watching our videos, you've seen us tackle this market. You've seen how we've handled it, and gone over stats and all of that good stuff. And just the appreciation of homes. There hasn't been a single time in which it has depreciated, and if it has, it's literally been for a week or something, just because the market had been stabilizing at that point in time, or maybe the statistics weren't all there. But over the course of time, there has never been really any depreciation since the past 2-3 years.
The last that actually made a big difference depreciation was the 08-09, but I think if you just held on to, we were able to hold on to your home through those years, and I think within, I can't remember what the stat was, 2-3 years, and it was back up even above
what it was before. Yeah.
So it's always, homes are always going to be rising and rising, depending on, almost always. But I want to get back to some of these other numbers that we've kind of touched in the past. So I mean, it's not just home prices increasing; it's also that interest rate. Shit, I cannot. When I saw a rate and I was like, there's definitely supposed to be a word in front of that. But your interest rate's going to increase. Your down payment's supposed to increase. Theoretically, the interest rate is going to be going up.
Oh,
You're already
yes,
starting to see it increase, but in just, let's say, 3 years, it's supposed to go up more than a whole percent, which doesn't seem like a lot, but like how we touched on the last video, it makes a big difference.
It definitely does make a difference. And with the interest rate increasing, theoretically, that's not a bad thing as the market stabilizes. I mean, we're not talking 12, 13% like it used to be, decades ago.
Yeah.
We're not talking, even 7, 8% right now. We're still like less than 5. So an increase from 3 to 4 is still almost considerably nothing compared to what it has been in years past.
Still really good.
Yeah, but we're still trying to save you that extra little bit of money, because why should you buy? That's what we're talking about. These numbers here. Because if you don't, you're going to be out in 3 years freaking $60,000, something like that. $50,000 to $60,000 because you wanted to wait just because you wanted to buy a car or you didn't feel that it was right. So,
and we'll see as we go on, which if you guys ever have any questions about any of these numbers, because I know we're kind of glossing over certain numbers of importance, but all the numbers are important. If you are confused about something, make sure to let us know in the comments.
absolutely.
But you ready to continue down our
For the cost
line
of weight,
info?
like the cost of waiting analysis.
Our awaiting analysis.
So
which,
we could talk about the assessed property value, right? Like, okay, well, this is what it could be valued at, and then 3 years later, it could be valued at this or whatever. Okay, fantastic. How does that actually affect your monthly payment?
which is what people usually care about.
Yeah, what is, what am I paying weekly, what am I paying bi-weekly, what am I paying monthly? What is coming out of my bank account that I'm paying for? And these numbers are going to be pretty ridiculous as well whenever you hear them, because let's assume, based upon the same conventional 3.125 interest rate, all of that good stuff, today, in 6 months, the payment difference simply a month is going to be $62.
Which
Doesn't sound like a lot.
doesn't sound like a lot, but I mean, what's Netflix monthly now? Like
15?
15?
$17.99?
$17.99?
I think it's $17.99.
So you could have Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus. You have all those streaming services. That's all
Exactly.
Your streaming services right there.
That's all your streaming services right there that you're paying extra for. Okay, doesn't sound like a lot. That's only 6 months. Okay, well, let's wait, 1 more year. Okay, well, that's $173. That's a car payment for some people. That's a car payment.
Right,
that's that car payment that you waited a year on. Now you're paying for 2, pretty much. Waiting 2 years, $284 difference in your monthly payment. So that's 2 cars, your streaming services, or I guess in some people's case, if they're buying something that they don't need, could just be an additional car payment. But that's a good. I mean, that's about as much as my parents used to spend in a family of 5 for groceries a week.
And the 173 should make you want to, and that's just a year. But if
the
you're
62 sometimes is going to be.
Yeah, honestly, the 62. That like how we said, that's all your. Things just add up monthly. Even the bottom numbers. $747 a year. People will be like, yeah, that's not a lot, but $747. People don't even have that as a safety net.
Yeah, exactly.
So
if you're thinking about buying and you have every single opportunity to buy, you just do not know how to do it, do not be scared to reach out, because this is going to work in your favor if you buy today, because these numbers we're talking about that you'd be paying extra for if you waited are going to be numbers that you're saving if you bought today. So you're going to be going from, let's say, 3 years, paying an additional $454 a month on the property, which is almost $500 extra a month that you're going to be worth saving just because you bought 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So that is just it's just crazy that those numbers exist and that that's actually what's happening. And if you play your cards right, that it can work to your advantage.
And we have the resources to help you with no matter what it is. If you're having a hard time collecting that down payment, don't understand how to get in the market, we have those resources to help. That's our job. So just make sure to reach out, like I said. But do you have anything else you want to kind of touch on?
I do really quick. So I want to add kind of all of these together. So let's say you waited the maximum amount of, let's say real estate as is started doing exactly what these numbers were, and this is the projections based upon the previous years, and usually have tended to be pretty accurate. Not down to a T, but they've usually tended to be pretty accurate as far as if the economy stays where it is and things stabilize and all of that. So let's assume 1 year you wanted to get a car, the next year you wanted to pay off all of your college, all of that stuff, and then you wanted to just wait a year to save up a little bit of money, so you were waiting a maximum of 3 years. And you had your eye on this house that was valued at, let's say, $330,000-ish. During that 3-year course of time, the house would now be valued at $384,000. You would be paying an additional $454,000 a month. The annual loss of cash flow from you waiting would be like $5,452, something like that you had been losing. So you're going to be paying $454 on a property that's now valued at over $50,000 more. And because you've waited with your interest rate and all of that stuff, your amortization loss is going to be about $20,000. In 3 years, you're going to be paying, or will be paying, upon $72,000.
That word got you.
It did get me. I don't like that word. Whoever invented that word.
Amortization. That's still just
amortization.
Amortization. I hate that word. It's the mort.
Amortization.
It's Morty. It's the Morty part in it.
Oh, jeez, Rick. Oh.
Yeah, Morty ruins everything. You idiot.
So, $72,000. That is a home for some people.
Yeah,
that is a home for some people. Some people buy their
homes.
first home. Yeah, some people buy their first home between $50,000 and $100,000. So you're going to be paying an additional price of a home on top of the home you want because you simply wanted to wait 2-3 years. So
that's a luxury car right there.
Yeah, but before we move on to the last thing, let's say you did buy. Let's say you go, you know what? Maybe the trio is trying to help me out. Maybe I should buy it. Maybe I am in a situation in which I'm renting, but I don't need to be, which we will slightly touch at the very end. And I'll just go ahead and buy this. So you get locked into a contract, yada, yada, yada. You do all of the things that you still wanted to do. You end up getting the new car, paying down your college tuition, all of that. After 3 years, you go, I would like to sell. The value at which you would be buying the home after waiting is now the value at which you could be increasing what you from what you had paid. So now that $72,000 that you would be paying if you wanted to buy the home that you're now currently living in because you wanted to wait 3 years is now being worth that much more to you when you go to sell.
Right, and I mean it's a give or take a little bit. I mean
on top of what you've paid down. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it'll be a little here and there, but I mean, yeah, it's always going to be worth buying right now, and it's just more money in your pocket in the end. I mean, what? I mean, when did your parents buy the house?
Mine?
Yeah.
It's like 2012, something like that.
Yeah, and they probably have half, what is it? Probably 50% back on their investment already.
Oh, they bought it. My parents bought my house for like $166 or whatever, and the assessed value as of like,
it's like
4 months ago was like $250 something. So that's just what it's worth now. Without that's so they would be roughly making $150,000 or $100,000 more than what they paid for, not on top of what they've paid off. So I think they've paid off like
crazy.
I don't know what they've paid off, so I don't want to put that out there. But you know, even if they were, you know, they paid off like 10% of it, like on the low end.
That's a lot.
That's 120,000 more.
Years.
Yeah, I was gonna say so.
That's crazy. It's just crazy how much you earn. I mean, even if you're only in there for the 3 years. I mean,
exactly. I mean, 1 year. I mean, 1 year. Even 6 months. If you bought 6 months, or if you bought 6 months and then you sold, 10,000 right there. I mean, you're talking like you're talking over an additional $1,000 a month and towards your assessed value. So. Just saying.
All you're doing is letting time make you money. I mean, it's not like you have to do. I mean, obviously you have to buy a house, but then again, over time, I mean.
Yeah, of course. We've always talked about how that process can be a little bit scary, but that's why we're here. That's why we want to be able to inform you with statistics like this, because we want to make you not only the most money possible, but to have the most money possible work in your favor.
Mm-hmm. That's what realtors are for. We do have a job.
Our job is to help you get into a place to be able to make memories, life, and fantastic things happen. It's not to just get you into a home and get you out of there. We're always going to be around. We're always going to be following up, seeing how you are, just because that's what we like to do.
Mm-hmm. And make money through appreciation while doing it.
It's important. So definitely let us know if there's any information that you'd like us to cover going forward as well on the podcast, or any recordings, content that you'd like to see. But we also want to thank you for joining us tonight. You always hear us talking statistics, numbers, percentages, all of that. So maybe go check out our TikTok for a little bit change of pace. It's a little bit more fun over there. We might throw a link in here or something like that. But we just want to let you guys know that we're here and that we're really, really looking after you. And then if you have any comments or questions or concerns, to please don't hesitate to reach out, because you never know, how much you can help yourself in doing so.
And it seemed like a short and sweet video, but I mean, like Josh was saying, just make sure to ask those questions, because that is our job. We do like answering the questions. It does make us have some fun during the day to be able to explain things like that to you guys. But I don't know. Anything else you need to say, Joshua, before we head out?
No, I was going to say have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night.
Have a good
night.
Peace out. This has been Gunnar Davis and Josh Killian, and you've listened to the Trident Talk.